Hi guys, welcome to Mendoza Makes. I'm Michelle Mendoza, and today we are making, in the Mendoza house we call it Eggy Bread. It's also called eggy in a nest, eggs in a basket. Basically, it's a piece of bread fried into toast with an egg in the middle. It's something that my husband always made, and I thought that it was like his thing, but then I found out that it's like a thing everywhere. It was like Santa Claus all over again. So it's something my husband usually makes, but he burns the toast. So I attempted my hand at making it and trying to get a golden brown toasted bread and also a cooked egg in the middle, because that is the trick. The bread and the egg cook at different rates. So getting the right temperature and the right amount of time in the pan to cook both of them with different textures, kind of challenging. So because I tried, I came up with a few tricks that worked for me and I thought I would share. The first thing to do is just take your bread and put a hole in it. I just use a glass, but you can use a biscuit cutter or a donut cutter if you have one. So I just punch it out and give it a little twist. And there you go. This is where we're gonna put our egg in the middle. And then this piece, I usually just fry as toast, and then when it's done, the idea is to have a runny yolk in the middle so you can dip this into the yolk. Super tasty. Tip number one is the pan you choose and the heat setting. This is the part where it gets a little bit tricky. Heating your pan and keeping it to the right temperature to make the toast toasty, cook the egg all the way, but leave a runny yolk can be kind of tricky. This is actually something I would not recommend a cast iron pan for, because if you have to adjust the temperature of it, which I usually do, it takes a while for cast iron to heat up and cool down. So if it's too hot, you're gonna have to turn off the heat and then wait for it to come down in temperature so that you can keep cooking. I usually use my nonstick pan for this. It's worked really well. It heats up and cools down quickly so that I can adjust the temperature if the pan gets too hot and starts burning the toast, or if it's not hot enough and I need it to get up a little bit so that I can keep cooking. I have it on a medium-high heat to start with, but then I'm gonna turn it way down, pretty much almost to nothing, very low, once I get the bread in the pan and it's heated up all the way. If you're looking for pans right now, these Tefal pans that I found a 3-pack of at Costco, they're on Amazon, they're pretty much everywhere. They have these red indicators in the middle that have little slashes through them when they're not hot, and when they're heated, they turn solid red, so you can actually see when it's hot instead of having to throw something in the pan to test. They're a really good pan for if you're just starting cooking and you're not familiar with visuals of knowing when your pan is hot enough. So I recommend those. I'll put a link in the description. Tip number 2 is add the butter to the pan, not spread it on the bread. And be generous with the amount of butter you use. The butter is going to keep the egg from sticking to the pan, because the last thing you want is to get a perfectly cooked egg and perfectly cooked toast, and then when you go to flip it over, the egg sticks to the pan and it makes a mess. Tip number 3 is when you add the bread, add the egg right away. I don't know why, but I used to think that I'd need to, ooh, a piece of shell got away from me. Come here, you. When I first tried making this, I would put the toast in the pan and then wait, and then add the egg like once it was already toast. But that's a huge mistake, because if it's already toast and then you add the egg, you have to wait for the egg to cook on this side. So you're going to just burn the toast on this side. And I also do my little extra toast guy over here. Now, you'll see that right now, the whites of the egg are very clear on top. I can see that it's turning white underneath, like through the white of the egg on the top. And when I see that it's pretty white and kind of bubbly on the top, see this bubble here, I'll know that it's time to flip it over. So you can see it start getting more and more white underneath and less clear. So I'm gonna just check, and usually I test the bread for this to see if it's toasted, and I just kind of lift up a corner. And it's not quite toasted all the way, so I'm gonna leave it just a little while longer. So I can also flip over my tester and see he's not toasted yet. So I know that this probably isn't toasted yet either, since I put them in the pan at the same time. My egg has turned a lot more white than it was before. There's less clear. I think it's ready to be flipped. A nice wide spatula is really good for this, so that you can get the entire piece of bread, or at least the entire egg. See how like the egg would fit in here? This is a good spatula for this. That's tip number 4. So get it all the way under, and you're just gonna do one flip. And look at that. Golden brown toast, runny yolk. It's gonna be good. Let us try. That is a perfect eggy bread. Now what you do is you take your little toast and you dip them. There's my eggy bread. Bam. What we usually do is add hot sauce or some salsa, so that it makes like this spicy, buttery sauce basically from the runny yolk. You could put avocado on there, that'd be really good. I mean, you can top it with whatever you want, or just eat it like it is. I hope these tips helped you guys make your eggy bread better, or egg in a basket, or egg in a nest, or whatever you call it in your house. If you like this video or you learned something, give it a like. If you'd like to learn more, subscribe to my channel. I upload every Friday. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. What are you guys doing in the kitchen? Do you want breakfast? You want eggy bread? Okay.